You have chosen a venue or environment that does not make provision for you to conduct demonstrations. The learning experience will fail. It won't be successful because that part that you needed to demonstrate to them, you can't. So that which means is there's another learning outcomes that couldn't be achieved or could not be explained to the learners. So when it comes to the assessment, that learning outcomes that was not explained or demonstrated, the learner would fail during the assessment process. And again, the learner would be sent back for facilitation, for further facilitation training. Involvement skills. Very important that the current facilitator needs to have proper skills to conduct the facilitation. If we don't have involvement skills as a facilitator, or we don't have the proper skills to conduct the facilitation, our learning experience would fail. So these are the three factors. There needs to be a set of knowledge amongst your participants. Your environment needs to be appropriate and according to your learning outcomes. And you as the facilitator needs to have a set of skills, the necessary set of skills to conduct your facilitation. Remember, your participants are relying on your skills, your expertise. This is why facilitators facilitate courses that they already have done, that they have experience about, because it's a skills transfer from you as the facilitator to your participants. So what you have learned in the past, you are busy learning other learners and or other participants. Giving feedback, very important. Just as much as we like to train people, we need to also give feedback and we need to receive feedback. When facilitating a session, you need to give feedback which increase self-awareness and offers options and opportunities for change of behavior. Now, feedback is a way of helping others to examine how well their behavior matches their intentions, thereby keeping them on target to achieve their goals. Important. Feedback is about things like behavior, which can be changed. So it's also important for us as facilitators to provide feedback to our participants. Now, be careful how you provide feedback to your participants. We are not there to break them down. So when providing feedback, you can praise the learner on sections where you feel or where you have examine the learner doing it successfully, and then you can put in a recommendation for the learner. Give him a recommendation, your personal recommendation, how he can improve on certain sections. That's how feedback is given. Collecting learner and stakeholders feedback. If you refer to stakeholders, this is now a company. It can be the HR department, it can be the managers. We refer to them as stakeholders. As the candidate facilitator learner, you need to seek learner and stakeholders feedback on facilitated learning. We saw that you can use evaluation forms to be collected, feedback, and analyze responses to determine the success of the facilitation. The feedback received shows you how to improve on your performance. It sets goals for you and helps you to assess your effectiveness and take action related to your methods and facilitation approach. So it's very important also, just as much as we provide feedback to the participants, we also need to receive feedback from them. How did they find the course? How did they find the facilitation? You are always going to find negative feedback. Don't see it as negative feedback. That feedback just tells us there is room for improvement. There's always room for improvement. No facilitation is completely perfect. You will always have learners that might be too afraid during the facilitation part to speak up and say, I don't understand something, and you would pick it up on your feedback. So your feedback helps you to see how effective was your facilitation, how effective was your methods that you implemented, and how can you change it to be more successful in the future. Guidelines for course evaluation. So what you're going to do when we say course evaluation, this is now where you need to create a form for yourself that you're going to provide to your learners. First of all, the form that you give to your learners so they can provide you with feedback on your facilitation must be anonymously. They don't have to write their names. All right? So let's just quickly have a look at this. Course evaluation questionnaires. Determine what you want to find out. What do you want to find out about your facilitation? Use written comment sheet covering the steps above. Obtain honest reactions by making the form anonymously. Allow trainees, this is now actually your learners, to write additional comments not covered by your questions. So you can ask the question, how did you find the course? Rate it from 1 to 5. And then you can, on the bottom of your evaluation form, you can leave a section where it says comments, where they can write comments. The best way of creating an evaluation form is through, as I've just mentioned, ask the question, and next to the question, ask them to rate it according to 1 to 5 or 1 to 10. It depends on you. That way, you will also get a clear understanding or a clear answer in which sections needs to be improved. Course evaluation would include evaluating reaction. How well did the trainees enjoy the session or the course? Find out how well the trainees like particular training session or sessions or the course itself in general. Does not include measurement of learning. So we don't want, okay, let me go further on. It'll explain there. Evaluate learning. What principles, facts, and techniques were learned? Written tests, questions, oral test questions, skill tests. Avoid questions like, have you learned anything? Never in your evaluation form do you ask that for a learner. Have you learned anything? First of all, they would feel offensive. And again, we want them to be honest regarding our facilitation process. How did they find it? If we ask questions like, have you learned anything? First of all, the learner is not going to give you an honest answer there. And we need these honest answers from them to see, to evaluate ourselves and to evaluate our methods and facilitation. So if we can't evaluate it, how do we know we need to improve on our facilitation? Evaluate learning and facilitation. The collection and use of data from stakeholders and learners will achieve a number of additional education and training goals, including provide all learners with some voice in facilitation, teaching and learning process, maintain facilitators and learners focus on learning, give learners opportunity to cognition. Most of the following samples seek general information about previous facilitation learning experience, and will be most helpful if modified for specific learning. They might be useful. They might be used later on. A single lesson involving a particular diagram, such as corrupted group work or information technology. A series of activities such as learning centers or demonstration and practical activities, or whole units of work involving a range of activities that learners can rank. So this is just to give you a basic background. Why do we collect these feedback from the learners and stakeholders? Again, the main focus and goals needs to be achieved, and the main focus of the entire facilitation is focused on the learning phase. Everything revolves around learning. What did the learners learn? The key issue is to keep the learners focused on how they learn best rather than on what they enjoy. All through clearly the two are connected. All are designed to take minimum time, just a couple of minutes at the end of the session. So your evaluation part of your facilitation shouldn't take more than a couple of minutes for them to complete that evaluation form. And it's focused on learn. We want to know, what did they learn, not what did they enjoy. Although both of those two parts needs to be connected with each other, but the main focus is more on the learning phase. We want to see how did they find the learning rather than how did they enjoy it. We've come to the end, ladies and gentlemen. Any questions? Are we all clear up until now with what we have covered? So I think by now we have a clear picture of facilitation, how to start with facilitation, what tools do we have to our disposal, and what type of